What up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be building a 3D printing shed for all my shenanigans, projects and all that jazz. So, let's get into it. Ooh, hello. Yeah, I said in the intro, we're going to be putting together a 3D print. Oh, I say putting together. I've got a couple of chaps that went in actually built the shed for me, and then me and my brother definitely thank my brother for this because he's been a godsend for about helped me board it, skim it, electrify it, everything you can do with it. And the point is to basically get I completely ran out of space in the office basically, and I wanted a bigger space to be able to make stuff, film projects and do all that sort of jazz. So without further ado, let's get on with the build. So we're starting off here with a bit of a time lapse of the build. I actually got a company to come in and build this for me. I could have done it myself, but in all honesty I couldn't be asked. So I thought it'd be quicker and easier to get these guys to come in and build it, and then sort of the advantage of that is they actually built it to my specifications as well. So that's rather nice. If you're wondering, it's a 10 by 12 shed. And I deliberately got them to put quite a big door in it and only a couple of windows because I knew I was going to be racking most of it. In case you're wondering, yes, that is just black scaffolding with chain link tied to it. It was a kind of an anti-dog measure, as you can see Toby inspecting just there. So the first job is to put the wiring in, because that's going to be very difficult with panelling on afterwards. So here is my brother just cutting out some notches with a multi-tool, and this is to feed cables through, and then there's also drilling some holes in the roof to feed cables to each of the lights. Yeah, I kind of made my brother's job a bit harder here, because I wanted 3 different lights, one over each of the benches and one over in the middle somewhere. And I wanted them all to be individually switched, so if we're having a gaming night I only had to turn the one light on. But as you can see, that means a lot more cables, so he was cursing me a little bit after this. Likewise with the sockets, I didn't know what I was really going to use them for. I just knew that I wanted a lot of them, so I think there was 11 I think we put in the end. And 3 on each wall, and then 1 either side of the door, just in case I wanted to plug a hoover in or something like that. So over here is where the consumer unit's going to go, and it's just one of those garage consumer units, the ones where there's just a few little fuses in, or a few breakers in, and that's about it, and plenty enough for what I wanted to do in here. That's one of the last things that will get mounted, because that will get screwed to the plasterboard. And just while we're at it, this is the lights that I'm going to be using. They're 5-foot VTAC lights, and they're LED baton lights, and they're just going to be mounted in 3 places on the ceiling. So next comes a plasterboard. So in preparation for that, we put some extra upright battens in to mount the edges of the plasterboard to, because where they were, they didn't really line up with anything, and we'd have to cut a lot. And we thought, well, sod that, we'll just add some extra wood battens in. It will add strength, and it'll make our jobs a lot easier later on. I used 25mm polystyrene insulation, and that was mainly because we already had a bunch of it left over from the old shed, plus that was about the only thickness we could actually get in there because the battens weren't that thick. This was probably one of the most time consuming parts of the whole project, sort of cutting in all that polystyrene in and around little bits in little corners, and then cutting out holes for where the sockets are going to go, because it wasn't deep enough to have that and the insulation. It was a bit of a pain, but we got there in the end. So if you're doing this project yourself, this is a really important step. This is a green vapor barrier, or any vapor barrier is better than nothing, to be honest. And you wanted this to go between the polystyrene and the plasterboard, because it stops all the condensation from sort of whatever the right word is, getting on the plasterboard on the inside and ruining it. We just attached this all to the wood with just a handheld stapler. Yeah, usually it's rain stop play, but in this case it was snow stop play. Quite unexpected, that. So here is the shed partway through putting up the plasterboard. And I would have got some more footage of doing this, but it took literally 3 of us to hold the panels up enough to be able to screw it to the ceiling and that. There was a lot of fixings for this. I think we went through nearly a box of 1,000 screws just in this sort of relatively small area. And that's just going through and then fixing it up and reinforcing it. So there was quite a lot. While we were at it, we went through and cut all the holes for each of the cables to come through for each of the sockets, each of the lights, and also a bigger hole for the consumer unit for all the cables coming to that. Here comes the other really time consuming part of the project. It was filling in all the gaps and going over all the screws with joint compound, and then multiple layers of easy fill, and then a lot of sanding. I'm really sick of sanding. So here you see my brother putting some paper in the joints, and this is specifically for this type of plasterboard. You put the paper in the joints and then you go over it with the joint compound, and it makes a nice finish because the edges are tapered. And then you go over it with a easy fill, sand it down, and you can't even tell it's there. So in this clip you can see just how many joints that were filled in, how many screws that was filled over. That was my job. I got the dum-dum job of filling in all the screws because I am really not a plasterer, and my brother's a lot better than this than I am. So here you can see the type of back boxes we're using for the sockets, and they're specifically for plasterboard. There's 2 little tabs that go in, flip outwards, and then when you tighten the faceplate on, it then clamps hold of the plasterboard and makes a nice finish. I should mention all these holes were cut out with a multi-tool, and it's definitely recommended to use a multi-tool because it vibrates rather than spins and doesn't make a mess of the edge of the plasterboard. So before we fitted all the boxes in permanently, we went round with a lick of paint, and I chose white for the ceilings, grey for 3 of the walls, and then I had a feature wall, which of course it's me, it's got to be pink, it's like a rule at this point. So the next job was to wire the sockets, and here's my brother just getting all the insulation tape off and stripping the wire down and wiring it in, putting it through the back of the back box, and then wiring it into the faceplate, and all jobs are good. I feel it important to say that if you're not confident with house wiring, then you really shouldn't be attempting this. You should be getting a trained electrician to do this, and this is hence why my brother's doing a lot of this, and any wiring that I did, he inspected it before I screwed the faceplate on. Trouble with electricity is you can't see it coming, so if you're not confident, really don't try this and get someone qualified to do it, else you could end up killing yourself, quite literally. Next came the lights, and I didn't film any of this because this was literally 2 screws and a clip, so they're really easy to fit up, these VTech lights. Again, don't go fiddling around in fuse boxes if you don't know what you're doing, because if you do, I'll send Stabby after you. You know when you get to that part of the project where you think things are just going way too well? Well, this is what happened. At some point during putting up the plasterboard on the ceiling, we managed to screw not 1, but 2 screws through the exact same lighting cable. I don't know how we managed this. More remarkable than that, perhaps, is how we managed to find both the faults within the first 3 screws we took out the ceiling. I mean, if that's not luck, I don't know what is. Here you can see how many wires that it could have been and the path that it took, so I'm glad we managed to find it when we did. The next job to tackle was the floor, and I decided to put this OSB board down on top of the original floor because it was all boarded, mainly to make it easier to roll the computer chair around when the carpet's on, and also to give it a bit of extra strength. So we jumped forward a little bit here, and this is mainly because the camera died, which is a bit annoying, but we managed to get the carpet tiles on the floor, and these were just cheap carpet tiles I got from like a warehouse shop, and they're just stuck down with double-sided carpet tape onto the OSB board. So here's some recycling at its best. All these cabinets are all from our original kitchen, and I don't even know why we still had them all, but I'm glad we did, because it meant that I could put them all in here without having to buy extra cabinets. And then there's one on the end which was a newer one, which I think my brother brought back off a job or something like that. The worktops, however, were all bought new, and that was from a local DIY shop. And I got all the edging strips to go with it, and like a joining piece, because I didn't really want to go through the hassle of routering and trying to join them and making them look seamless. I do definitely like the look of these though, and in theory it should be a bit more durable, so that'd be quite nice. Oh, the other thing I did off camera was I just ran a bit of frame sealant around the back of the worktops just to stop anything from dropping down the back. And the final finishing touch was to put some skirting board around, and this isn't actually skirting, it's like the shorter version of it. I think it's for like dados or something like that, but I like the look of it, and it finished everything off quite nicely. Oh, and thanks again to my brother for making the edges look so nice, because the way I was going to do it was pretty dumb, to be honest. There we have it, we're all done. I've been, since the last clip and this clip, I've been a bit busy. I've decided I was going to populate the place and, you know, and then show you when it's all done. But yeah, in the last clip I think you saw these worktops and that being put in. Since doing that, we've put some nice trim around the bottom as well. But yeah, so from left to right, I've put my old racking that was in the old office in here. This is all computery stuff, so anything to do with my computer building malarkey. Like there's 2 Macs down there which I'm hopefully gonna get working and film, maybe, I don't know. This is all endless potential at the moment. That's my uncle's old computer he generously donated to me. That was running a Minecraft server, and then the hard drive died, so I've got to fix that. Hopefully this will be a future video as well. I'm building a 98 PC for some retro gaming and stuff like that, and this is like, I think, my 2nd or 3rd ever computer that I managed to dig out. So, and it still works surprisingly, so we'll have a go with that. This I'm really looking forward to doing. It is a CNC, one of those little mini CNCs, I forget what the name is, like 3018 Pro? I'll put something over the screen here anyway. But yeah, it come to me in, so I got it for free basically, and it's come to me in somewhat of disrepair. There will be a video on me sort of restoring this and getting it back to working order. I've got a motor to go on it there, but I've actually changed my mind and decided to do an upgrade. So I thought, well, this will probably become a weapon motor for Stabby or something. we'll see what happens on that anyway. But yeah, along this wall there's all the printers. We've got the Creality Ender 3 Pro, the Creality CR10S. Yes, the S. It is the S. I trying to think then. And then also my Bauco, my old trusty Bauco 3D printer Touch, which is also basically the Cocoon Create or the Wanhao Duplicator i3 Plus, and that's been upgraded with various firmwares and stuff. There's previous videos. I'll link stuff in the video description and sort of on the screen in the cards if you're interested in any of that. Yeah, over here is all my sort of 3D printing related-y stuff. Apart from that, that's a soldering thing, that's brilliant. So all my filaments and stuff, anything to do with the printer, and then a few odd miscellaneous things for various projects. That was like frames I bought for a teleprompter I'm going to build. I did like a mini version of it, just made out of foam board, as a test run basically, and then I'm going to try and make the bigger thing if I can get a tablet big enough to run it, so that'll be cool. I should mention a lot of this stuff is all subject to change. I've used it all for a bit, and I'm probably going to make some changes here and there. I'd like a better way of storing my filament and stuff, and like have a dry box, so I don't need all of these Haribo tubs. Not sponsored, but they are the perfect size for 3D printer filament rolls, as well as Cadbury Heroes. Also not sponsored. So this surface is going to double as both a work surface, obviously, because I need somewhere to work, like with my laptop, and then, you know, if I'm doing any projects and stuff like that. But also, this space is kind of, I had envisaged it being a sort of doubling as a games room slash D&D area, whatever we feel like doing, really. Hence why I managed to get this big dining table. This actually goes bigger than this. It's one of those, you know, pulley out ones. Pulley out ones? Is that a really good description? It extends anyway. So it's even bigger than this if you want it to be, but that's plenty big enough for what I want. With the mind, I was going to sort of fit a TV into it, but it's that nice of a table. I'm actually don't want to cut it up, so I'm probably going to make something to go on top of that. So that might be a future project if I get round to it. But yeah, this table was an absolute bargain find. It was a lovely old couple sort of was clearing out an area, and they were selling this table for literally 20 quid. So that was like the best sort of bargain of the century. But yeah, that's why, in case you're wondering, this isn't for like employee use or anything like that. I'm not that big yet, unfortunately. But no, this is why the fridge and the microwave, and we've got a little Tasmo thing. I swapped my brother for that, for like a cabinet. So thank you very much, me brother, for that. That's been absolutely marvellous. But yeah, this is for snacks, drinks, you know, pot noodles, whatever we feel like eating if we're having a gaming night. Also, nice old school retro TV. I've actually got two of them, technically. I'm going to try and take the other one back up into the old, what used to be the old sort of project room, and use that as, you know, just to play games on. And then I'm thinking I might try and turn this into something. So if you have any suggestions and, you know, ideas for projects for this TV, let me know in the comments. Also, this might be a future project. It's an old computer I got, and it's, to be honest, it's about the right spec for to be a good XP gaming machine. So I might try and do a bit of a restoration on that and see if we can upgrade it. So that might be a video in the future. So let me know if you're interested in anything like that. In case you're wondering what the laptop is, it's a Dell G3, and it's the one with the i7, forget what the model is, but it's an i7 and a 1060 graphics card in it. So I got it because I wanted to also have it in case I want to go to a LAN, you know, party or something. Do kids do that these days? I don't know. Go to LANs and things like that and play games at our friend's house and stuff like that. But also it's a really nice workhorse for in here, so I thought, well, best of both worlds, really. Oh yeah, just to address the the elephant in the room, this door hasn't been finished yet, and that was mainly because I didn't know what type of lock I was going to put on yet. Also, I'd run out of the sort of insulation stuff, so I've got a bit more now, so this will be sort of insulated boarding, and it'll be the same as, you know, all the rest of the boarding and stuff. It's all the plasterboarding around the outside. It'll be the same as that, essentially. Either that, or I'll maybe put a different door in it. If I can get an old reclaimed door and sort of build a frame to fit it, that might be a better option, might be a stronger option. But at the moment, this works. Oh yes, something I should mention actually. These lights are really, really nice lights, but they don't play well with mobile phones. So if you're planning on getting these in doing filming and on anything that isn't a camera, like this camera copes with it no problem. But the actual, like my phone and stuff that runs, I think the only option is 60 FPS, and for the most part it copes with the anti-flicker on the one phone, but my main phone, which is a Google Pixel 2 2XL, yeah, I haven't upgraded in a while, 2XL, that flickers awful with these lights and that, and I assume it's going to be much of the same with most LED lighting. But that's something to note if you ever plan on using these in a sort of a filming area or in a studio or something like that. But yeah, I suppose the final thing to do to finish this build off is the peel. I've been waiting literally about 6 months for this. It's longer than I thought. There we go. Can't reach. go. Literally 6 months waiting to do that, because I spent a lot of time obviously getting this place up to scratch and how I wanted it. It's still not completely there, to be honest. There are some tweaks I'm going to make, like I'm going to build in sort of smaller storage inside. See, I've got those little drawers up there for organising cables and things like that. I need more of those at the top, so I'll probably get some more, or I'll build something in to do that. I'll probably do something similar here as well. I might sort of make this enclosed, you know, sort of panel it in with wood or something like that, and then have some doors on the front and have that for filament storage, because then that way I can have like a dehumidifier inside of it, and then that way it'll keep it all in nice, and I don't have to keep using that thing every 10 seconds, which is a food dehydrator, and that dries out filaments lovely. But prevention is better than cure. That's why I've got this little dehumidifying thing here. It's doing well. I mean, you can see how much water is in the bottom of it, but it definitely needs a little enclosed area to make sure. But yeah, I'll do a bit of an update video, you know, if anything changes in here or anything I find interesting. And also you'll probably see more projects filmed in here, because I've got a lot more room to actually work on things, so that'll be nice. But anyway, I think that's enough from me. Over to future Will. But there you have it. There's the shed all done and dusted. Really happy with it. I honestly didn't think we'd get it anywhere near looking as good as that, to be honest, so I'm very happy with it. Apologies it took a long while to get this video out. I was buried with work, and then just when I was in the middle of editing it, I managed to get the flu or cold or some variant of whatever hell that's going around at the minute, and I completely lost my voice. You could probably still, it's a bit croaky now, but it's good enough. This'll do. So yeah, as I said in the previous bit, I'm hoping to have some more projects on the go, some more videos on the go, so like the CNC, whatever else I said, I can't remember. That was literally filmed over a month ago, because I've had this for a month now. That's great, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to try and stick to a bit more of a better upload schedule, at least one a month. That's what I'm aiming for. But you know, with me, it tends to go out the window a little bit, but I'm going to do my best this time. Also, in the previous video, I think I mentioned a project coming up with big motors. That is definitely still in the works. Probably won't be for a little while long. I don't actually know when I'm going to release that video, but we're nearly done, so look forward to coming that soon. But yeah, I'm going to try and put as much information as I can in the description below for links for what I used in the video and different things. But if there's anything I've missed, then feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you'd like to know. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I shall see you next time. Ta-da! Wave. No. Why are you filming me now? Charles fucking fucking absolute prick of an animal. Fuck off, still on the book. Here's some more light. Where's the light? Fucking hell. Understand it. Do easy bit. No, you come and film me. I was just going to do a clip of you just doing a bit wiry things, and then I'll cut it off. Okay, it's a mess. Fucking do what it's in. I can't think of it. Fuck it. Bye.